actually had to tell myself that my ex died to get over him.
I killed my ex as well.
Once I told myself like he died, it allowed me to grieve him and move on.
That's the same thing I went through.
Thank you!
My friends think I'm the worst person ever. My son just kept inquiring. You're like, you told him what? And I'm like, I had to. What else am I going to say that's going to stop you from inquiring about him? Like, the child's age definitely matters.
I did not tell my son he was dead.
You're better than me.
But
I suck because I involved the poor child.
All right, welcome everybody to the Back and Forth. I am Kevin and this is my co-host.
Hello everybody, this is Chanel.
All right, Chanel is there and she is live. And before we get into any conversation, I want to make sure that I ask you all who are joining us, if you have not done this, if you have not done so, and if you have been around with us, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification button so you know when we put new content out there and from the Back and Forth. That will help us greatly as we try to reach other co-parents out there who may not know that we exist. So we ask this in your name. Thank you. Okay, now the announcements out of the way.
These are our church announcements.
Yeah, these are church announcements. So, Chanel. You know, as we go through the interwebs, trying to find these topics out there, as we scouring through the messages that are always out there, the memes and everything, sometimes we run across a doozy. And we ran across something this week where some of you all may understand where we come from after this video shows, because this is one of those shows where it might not be so jovial. I just wanted to basically be able to play itself. This situation is about what you do after you're not with the other parent anymore, and how do you get over that situation, especially if the child is asking about the other parent. Chanel, go ahead and key it up.
All right.
I actually had to tell myself that my ex died to get over him.
I killed my ex as well.
Once I told myself like he died, it allowed me to grieve him and move on.
That's the same thing I went through.
Thank you!
My friends think I'm the worst person ever. My son just kept inquiring. You're like, you told him what? And I'm like, I had to. What else am I going to say that's going to stop you from inquiring about him? Like, the child's age definitely matters.
I did not tell my son he was dead.
You're better than me.
But
I suck because I involved the poor child.
I actually had to tell myself that my ex died to get.
Go ahead, sir.
Chanel. Now there is a thing that let me see here. Let me turn something on here. There you go. There we go. There we go. Got it. So there's a thing, Chanel, that we as parents have to be careful about. And that is, we have to be careful what words we use to our children. And, you know, because this is not about us at the end of the day. Yes, we have to take care of ourselves emotionally, physically. However, what we do and say also can have an effect on our children. And I don't want to get into it too much because I want you to be able to jump into it. But I just wanted to open the doors. Open the doors of the conversation with that. What we do and say can and will have an effect on our children. What do you have to say about this situation right here?
You know, Kev, I was engaged in the conversation for the most part at the beginning when the young lady was talking about how she handled her healing process, trying to process what happened, grieve the relationship so that she could move on. However, when they started talking about telling their children, that their father was dead, I had to completely jump off the train because that's way out of line. Way, 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 way out of line. And Kevin, you and I have talked about how our healing process should be about our healing process.
Mm-hmm.
We should not put that burden on our children. We should not expect our children to carry the weight of what experiences that we had with their father or their mother, and put that on them for them to process something that was not theirs to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I had to jump off the train with that because I'm like, okay, now we're talking about psychological harm being done. This child now has to process, okay, is my dad really dead? And do I see him? Does the child see the father? And like, what I need more information. I'm sorry, I just need more information as to how this looks.
And it's not so much for the information standpoint, but it's the words that come out your mouth and how it can be perceived by those that are listening or the viewers that were watching that. Because you could come off as crass, cruel, vindictive, ugly, because you're not going to get anything positive out of this. You talk about the healing process, and yes, the healing process is very important. However, in the process of healing, who are you hurting? You see what I'm saying? You, for your own personal gain, you want to heal from that last relationship with the ex. So you, in turn, tell your child that the parent is dead so they can stop inquiring about said parent. So for your selfish reasons, you don't want your child to ask you about the other person because it may bring up bad memories. But in turn, that child now has to process that.
Yeah.
And you heard the other host say, well, it also depended upon the age of the child. You tell me what age of what child is appropriate to tell that child that the father or the mother or whoever the other parent is dead, so you can heal.
Right.
I'll wait. I'll just give me an age number when that will work. I mean, we have to stop being so selfish as parents. We did what we had to do to have the children. We had a relationship, whether it was a one-night stand and it didn't work out. It didn't work out. We, in turn, have to find ways to process that. This is why me and Chanel always talk about you have to, in turn, go out and find somebody, some kind of professional help to get you through this. I don't care if you read a book. Find some kind of help to get you through this, because you can't do this alone.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a person trying to go to court and defend themselves. Only a fool defend themselves. And only a fool going to sit there and tell their child that the other parent's dead.
Yeah.
In order for them to get over their emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very, very selfish. I agree with you, Kev. That was a very, very selfish move. I talk to clients about grieving a relationship, Kev, because a relationship was alive at one point and it is no longer. The relationship is dead.
Yes.
And now you've turned around and said this person is dead, and not only did you say that to yourself, but now you include other people in this. So now what we doing, having a funeral? Like what do we do with that now that's out there? How do you help now? How do you help your child if they're grieving because of this fictitious story you came up with? How do you assist your child in grieving in grieving? Like, there's so many layers. I don't think people, especially selfish people, don't think about, because they're selfish. They don't think about the impact, like you said. They don't think about the impact that it's going to have on this child. They don't think about the long-term effects that this is going to have on this child, because again, some children have grown up. I believe this isn't anything new, Kev.
Yeah.
People over the generations have had these stories. Oh, your dad died in the war, or your dad this, or your dad that, simply because they thought they were protecting the child because the father wasn't coming around, or they kept the father from coming around, right? Only to find out later on that the father was alive and always wanted to be in their life, but because the mom had bitterness, the father couldn't come around at all. And so now this child has no father, has not had any type of influence or male influence or mother influence or whatever the case may be. And it has affected their development. And then when they find out that not only did my parent lie to me, but then this other parent has been alive all this time. It's so much that I don't think people in a moment, in their own selfish moment, they don't think about all of the other stuff that comes along with it, Kev.
It takes so much work to cover up, to try to build up, to try to defend a lie. When the truth shall set you free.
Ah, you better preach, sir.
Listen to what I say here. You lie about a parent dying so you can get over what you want to get over. So that's step one. So now, one day you may get over the situation. The child may get older. It may be 5, 6, 7 years later. Let's say the child is up in age now. Let's say the child's a teenager. The other parent never got to establish a relationship with that child. Whether it be no fault of their own or they didn't want a relationship with the child. But do you know how traumatizing it is to have a child realize that somebody is not dead? They've been here the whole time. Remember Uncle Daddy, Uncle Jimmy from across the street, and our our heritage. You know, somebody across the street could have been your daddy the whole time.
Yeah.
But because we don't want that person to know, we don't want that person to have any kind of relationship because it may have happened and it may have been, we may be ashamed of it. So we hide it from the child. So the child growing up thinking that their older sister is their sister and it might be their mama because we hiding stuff.
Yes. Kissing cousins.
And the thing that happens from this is that the relationship that child now has to establish with that parent who was dead, that's not dead. Imagine now this child going out and having their own child. And how they're now trying to put together pieces to try to be a better parent, to try to be a good parent, if that. Or let's say it takes the opposite effect and you say, well, my mom or dad was not part of my life. I have this child. I'm not going to be part of their lives. I turned out okay.
Did you?
You see what I'm saying? So we have to be careful. That one little lie could be a snowball and it rolls downhill and it gets bigger and bigger. All because you wanted to try to protect your feelings. You know, I do not want to go several shows and keep using the big F to explain what I'm just saying. Because this right here is a prime situation of somebody need to get the F out of there. And you know, I'm saying, people, get out of your feelings. Get help.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious if you are caught up in your feelings, you need help.
Yeah.
And that's what people are there for. And I know some of you might be ashamed. I don't want to go I don't need no help from anybody. And you're going to stay the same fool you were yesterday. There's another F. If you don't get the F out of here, you're going to stay the same fool you were, which is another F. You're going to say the same F you were. So,
oh, Lord.
Please, people, please, I beg of you, do not lie to your children about a parent not dying so you can get over your feelings. Get the help that you need.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
I beg of you.
Yeah.
Please.
For your
Chanel,
kids' sake.
Absolutely. For your kids' sake and for yours. Because bottom line is, one day you may meet someone else. And what if your significant other now asks about the child's parent? So now you got this parent now trying to cover up your lie to the child. So now you're involving somebody else in your lie now. So that child could grow up, might be hating your spouse now. Because that spouse knew it. And they're like, hey, I'm just honoring your mother's wishes. She didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you. So everybody's a liar now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Chanel. Yeah.
Yeah. And we wonder why we have trust issues. You know,
Woo!
it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me the lengths that people go to because of their own resentment or hurt or pain.
Yeah.
And instead of going to go get help, they cause pain with other people. It's like it's contagious. You're gonna rub up on somebody else and cause pain to them, instead of going to go get the antibiotics you need, So
Well, we don't want to medicate the problem either. We want to fix the problem. We want to work on the person.
well, we want to fix it. Yeah, we want to drive out the infection.
Yeah, but you better be careful some antibiotics. They mess around and give you some stuff that's some oxycodone and stuff like that. Now you hooked and you're addicted.
Well, we don't want that. We don't want that. We want antibiotics to drive out the infection, which is bitterness.
Yes.
And you could be free.
Yeah, we don't want to be addicted to it. We're not
doing that, Kev.
We're not
doing that.
Okay. Chanel, so I'm just gonna tell these people before I jump into my soliloquy, please don't lie to your children for your sake, for your feelings' sake. And with that, I'm gonna tell the people to stay safe and be blessed. And Chanel,
continue to put God first. Continue to put Him first in everything you do, and how you're parenting and raising your kids. Make sure you check with Him first, because I'm pretty sure Holy Spirit wouldn't have said do all of that. Kev?
Yeah, and I'm just saying, please, y'all, please. Your situation is not Lazarus, and he ain't coming to bring that back to life. Stop killing off your parents and tell your kids the truth. We out.